New State of Scrims. This is like probably episode 28, if I had to guess, 4 for this season. Apologies for the delay there. I was having some technical difficulties, but glad to be back. We do want to cover some playoff stuff as they start tonight, and the second
Exciting.
series is going to be on Monday. Do you have any thoughts about the season as a whole before we get into playoff stuff?
Uh, I'm really sad we don't get to see tiebreakers for like actual games for tiebreakers for playoff positioning. I think a tiebreaker between like Rift Sharks and Spectres or Andromeda or not Andromeda,
Hey,
MVP
hey, hey,
and
hey, hey, hey.
Spectres would have been sick.
Spectres clean out, bro. We're 6-4, they're 4-6. That's all I'm saying. MVP Rift Sharks is what you're looking for, but
That would have also been super
yeah.
fun. But
Yeah. I mean, we simply if we want to see all the series get played before people get into finals, we do have to kind of keep up the pace. Unfortunately, pretty tight on scheduling as it is, but. I'm just glad that we get to see more games between these top 4 teams. I think this is the closest top 4 we've ever had. They're all within a series of each other. Spectre is only 2 down. I think that's the closest 1 through 5. Also, Noam, thanks for subbing well on air. Crazy stuff there. Goat behavior.
multitasking.
But yeah, no, I think a lot of the series towards the end were a little bit unexpected to some degree, but also super exciting. Andromeda, I know there were talks of them maybe slipping out of the standings to Spectres, and they absolutely demolished them in their series. So that was a cool way to close that out. And us, Rift Sharks, were able to 2-0 MVP pretty solidly to secure the 3rd seed against them, which might matter if we end up playing them in losers. But overall, 3 and 4 isn't a huge deal, especially with the selection. Andromeda did end up choosing us, so it's like we're in the 4th seed. But honestly, I think these playoff matchups are pretty exciting. I think both matchups that ended up happening, the team that has the higher seed is 2-0 against their opponent. So either of these could be really big upsets if the lower seeded or the higher seeded team were to win, but I do think that they could go either way. As I said, all these teams are pretty close, but if you think, ignoring the fact that you are on in one of the games, which upset do you think is the most likely to happen? Like which team do you think is the flippiest? Like any of those factors matter?
That's a good question. I think for MVP, our bot lane just has their number, like in both series we've played this season. But I can definitely see Rift Sharks like having an absolute pop off performance from like Drago or Mason or Dean, and like carrying through jungler, carrying through the side lanes. I think what'll decide that series is who pops off harder between Brewer and Mason if Mason is playing. If Brewer is gonna switch back to bot for some reason like they did for a couple of series, then it's over. It's so doomed.
For
And
who?
I think Rift Sharks 2-0s if
Oh,
Brewer
okay.
plays bot.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what they were cooking with that, but it didn't taste good.
Yeah, you're saying you
So
got free wins off that or something?
I mean, we 3-0'd in that series unofficial. So
yeah. I had to throw the asterisks in there.
like
Yeah, no. I
5 of
mean,
them, yeah.
I'm super excited against them. I think we got a game off them, maybe. Just speaking from our personal perspective, the mental gap we have versus Andromeda is fucking massive, and I have no clue why. Both the series we played, Mason was like literally getting off work like as it started, and I think that was part of the issue. Second one, he had just been on vacation for like 5 days, hadn't touched League, and same thing for the first one. So it's definitely like a fun conversation for us to have on our end because it's like, obviously he didn't have a great series in either of them, but it's like, is that like a him problem? Is that like our timing was bad? Definitely interesting to see who will end up running there. But yeah, as you said, I think it should be pretty interesting. Brewer obviously topping the MVP standings over there, but then behind him is I'm in second some fucking how. I don't ask me. And then We do have a three-way tie for third with Drago, Tusini, and Joey. So on that note, going into the Metabusters versus MVP series, watching Metabusters recently has been super fun. A lot of players on your team have been popping the hell off. Do you think that some of those might just be like flukes, like they just have a really good game because just happened to be so that day, or do you think it's more consistent? Just because I think some of the players that have been doing really well have also had some pretty rough games.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think we've had some rough patches in the top side. Like, I don't think, I mean, when I think of Logan or Corn, I think of like a super solid like weak side tank player. And he's had some games where he's locked in like Renekton and absolutely like turbo carried, and then he's had other games where he's locked in Renekton and gotten absolutely turbo fisted. But I don't think of him as much of like a flippy player. I think there's just been some weird circumstances around like how the map has been played by both teams to where some games there's just so much attention in the top side that someone ends up super ahead, and then other games nothing happens, which I guess it's the nature of top. But I
Yeah,
think other than Korn, who's had like one or two shaky performances in the past couple of series, like everyone's been super solid. And I have full faith in him that he's gonna have great series in the playoffs too. So
yeah, that's good to hear. Looking at the top four teams, do you think there's any matchups that are like unwinnable for a certain team, or do you think anyone can beat anyone else? You're allowed to ego here. No
I
pressure there.
mean, MVP has historically looked like at the start of the season, except for their series against us, they looked
Yeah,
unstoppable. And then they played another series against us, and then they lost what, like three straight series?
yeah, I think so. I think there have been some subbing things going on
Yeah, there's
there
been
too,
some
but
roster issues, and I know they don't have Blake tonight either.
gotcha. I mean,
Um,
I think from what I've seen, they've been trying to primarily run PB anyway. So
yeah,
I don't know if
and I think PB is super hype as
yeah, I
a top
agree.
laner because he doesn't play top champs. He plays what he
Right.
feels like, and he always performs on it, which is hype.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I think MVP into our bot lane is just mental gapped to hell and back. Like it's
Gotcha.
so rough. Um, but I also think, I mean, you said there's like an Andromeda,
Mental
like
block
mental
versus
gap for
us.
Rift
Yeah.
Sharks.
I mean, I don't know how like
Um,
accurate that is, but
I don't know. I was
we'll see.
watching I was watching your stream in your last series against them, and there was
Oh
some
god.
like questionable draft decisions.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much you want to get into that since you're playing them again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not no leakers here, but I think
Not at
we
liberty to
do
disclose.
have a better strategy prepared. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think definitely some mental warfare going on there. Did bench some of my players after that series for some
Yep.
tilting. So just a reminder to everyone to keep it friendly and fun. No reason to flame anyone. Not the environment that we're trying to create here, but yeah, I think some tilt definitely evident. I think if we can get a good first game, I think it looks really good for us versus them. I definitely don't think it's impossible for us to win. I think you look at our kind of roster and look at theirs, and I think we do match up pretty well theoretically. Um, it's just a matter of like executing on day of, which is definitely something that we haven't been able to do. But I'm excited to get the chance to show it off in the first round. Getting a first round win for us would be huge,
That
obviously.
would be crazy. Yeah,
Um,
big upset.
but yeah. Looking at the bracket, I actually don't have it up here, so let me see if I can grab it from Discord from the announcements. I can do open browser. Badass. Okay, here we go. Um, so yeah, uh, and I think I froze us. Hold on. Okay. Oh no, you just weren't
It looks
moving.
like stream is
You're
working.
like statuesque. Um, but yeah, if either of these teams do fall out, if we say that the series go in the way that we're expecting them to, 1 seed, 2 seed take on, Andromeda's going to get side select, in the upper bracket, Rift Sharks are going to get side select in the lower bracket. So that could be something to look for. So MVP might really want to like double down on this. I know when they had side select versus us, they won. When we had side select versus them, they lost. I don't know if that necessarily matters, but I feel like at least in our first series, I think side select did make the big difference there. And that was one where we were both running rosters we were more comfortable with.
Yeah.
So that might just be something to consider. obviously, I think they're probably going to try to win the series anyway. So it's not much of a point, but just something to look forward to going into the tournament. And just a quick brush up on the format for those who don't know. Each of these series are going to be best of 3. Any teams that are on even footing are going to have side select determined by seeding. In this matchup down here at the bottom, that you can't see my cursor for, but not the first lower bracket match, but the second one. Side select is going to go to the team that just dropped down from winners bracket, and then the final match, the grand finals, doesn't have a bracket reset, but how we do it is it's a best of 5, and the team who stayed in the upper bracket the whole time gets a bye and side select for the first game, which is a pretty good advantage. And if you look at it statistically, it's not as good for them as a bracket reset would be, but it's way better than not having an advantage. So it does work out pretty well. But obviously, that's the spot that everyone's going to want to be fighting for. The one time that we did actually get to run a double elim bracket, the team that had that spot did end up losing in a very vicious series, so to speak. So definitely something to watch out for that the bracket reset could get you. Having the week of break is definitely something that could be important. It's also something that we've seen matter in our like bracket signups, where the team just gets to sit and watch 2-3 play, and then I think they choke more often than not. But obviously, they don't have the free win advantage in that. But definitely excited to see the format.
Yeah, excited to be back in double elim.
Yeah.
Redemption time.
Do you feel more comfortable with that or not? Because I know that you're one of the teams that has a super favored matchup going into it. So if we were playing single elim, you theoretically could have like a easy trip to finals, and then it's just 50-50. But this way, there's a lot more things that could go wrong. I don't know how you feel about that.
I prefer double elim even if we're favored. I just think it makes for better narratives and also more fun series. Like, even if like your favorite team loses in the first round, they're not out. They still have a chance. So
yeah, the people's take. We like it. We like it. But yeah, I'm not sure how much there is to go over unless we want to hop into a specific matchup and kind of dive into it. Which one? Let's start with the one that's happening first. So let me see if I can't.
Dean's gonna entice me into leaking strats.
I just want to look at the previous series and kind of talk about them. I don't need to get into strategy necessarily.
It's towards the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
like the second week.
Thought I scrolled farther than I did. Okay, too far.
No, you're still not there.
I went all the way to the bottom. Oh, where to go?
We played them like second week.
Okay, Rift Sharks Spectres, Rift Sharks 100 Thieves, Rift Sharks Andromeda. There we go. Okay, can't see. This one was a really good series. It went to 3 games. MVP was able to. Oh my god, this game. The Quinn ADC certainly did something here. I remember casting this one. I don't think Quinn ADC was necessarily the reason that they won. Julian had an insane game here. I also feel like Katarina going late does tend to have some trouble, especially with the karma there. But this series was a bit of a banger. Interesting draft from MVP, and then a draft that looked more normal for them, but completely didn't work out in the slightest. Stav and Fujer actually picking away the Neela Senna here was pretty fun, taking away a champion from Evan, even though they had a blue side. Taking away contested picks is fun.
Maokai was super high prio for this series.
Yeah, it looks like it wasn't touched in the first game and then was probably first pick twice in a row going after it. Game 3 was a complete banger, but Tusini just got insanely fed on the Lux and put them down. Valor played a couple of 0 games that series. I don't know if he's touched the champion since, but definitely a fun one to watch. I think Psycho Carrot on the Neela or on the Renata was insane, and then moving
Yeah.
back to some of his more traditional support picks, I think struggled a bit more. Um, Fujer, a rare Senna loss there, pretty interesting, but um, just looking at the kind of like contested picks throughout the series were pretty interesting. Um, Obviously, Stops Twitch is something that you don't really want to go through, but it did end up passing through every single game. It's a definitely an interesting thing between these two teams because the two bot laners one tricks are a very uneven matchup. If you give both
Yeah.
of them their champs, Evan should absolutely slam if he's able to get the Neela. Um, so having a counter for the Twitch if you're going to leave it up and the Neela's banned is definitely something that's super important here.
Yeah, I think
But
also
yeah,
back then Twitch, this was like just when season 14 started, and ADC items were like
bad.
really whack. Like it was a full
Yeah,
lethality ADC meta. So stuff was just like Twitch sucks now.
yeah,
And after that first series, even though he was up for the next two games, we're just like we're not gonna play him for this series.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, looking at these rosters, not leaking anything, but this seems like probably what we'll end up seeing tonight. And
Don't
just
list
matchup
my
wise,
ADC's match history, please.
I wasn't planning on it, but now you've told everyone too, so they're going to. Um, but I think Valor versus Tusini is probably the most one-sided part of this map. Personally, I might be wrong about that, but I think Tusini kind of absolutely fathers Valor. Part of me is hoping that Valor's watching this and he just steps up and like kicks his ass. I think that would make for really good content. But Julian and Joey are both really good. I think Julian definitely has a foot up in that matchup, but I think Joey knows what he's doing well enough to definitely match him. Maybe not play as well, but if he's able to facilitate, especially around mid lane, I think that has a huge impact in the map. Court and PB, I think you're basically just gentlemaning a pretty even lane. I think neither of them are like crazy aggressive players. I think both of them are able to get leads if they try to, but don't really push for it as much. And then I think bot lane is definitely MetaBuster's favored, but I think draft is a huge part of it. So I expect to see a lot of draft resources put down there. Not asking for a comment from you on that one, but that's at least my personal take. I think if MVP is going to win, it's going to be through macro and consistency and a really good setup from Julian. So I think MVP definitely wants to make sure that he's getting what he needs to. I think MetaBusters needs to watch out for jungle being able to get some stuff done.
Always gotta watch out for jungle against Julian. I think from MVP side, they're probably gonna look to ban some supports rather
Yeah,
than
that's
ADCs.
that's likely.
Because I think Fujira has actually had like a good amount of MVPs
Yeah,
this season, just because he enables stuff to take over games so well.
yeah, he's a very good player. That Senna is definitely something to look out for. Pretty insane stats on it from what we've seen. Um, these games I didn't actually get to catch. Valor had a Yasuo power spike game, which we do appreciate here. Mike had a crazy game on the Gwen, was not able to win. Joey dropping a 19 bomb on Viego is absolutely insane.
Joey
Um,
was this close to a penta that game,
that's crazy.
and then
Um,
Evan ran away. I don't blame
oh,
him.
tragic. I guess like you have like 4 melee champions if you're not the way, right? So not
Yeah,
a real way to catch him. And then looking at the first game, this one seemed to be a lot less close. Psychocare and Evan had a rough time into Kaisa Braum. Good matchup. Out of curiosity, did Stav do the AP build or um, on it?
I think it was the
Maybe it was like the hybrid one where it's
I
like
think it was
lethality.
the hybrid one,
Okay.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
It might have
mean,
been Eclipse into full AP.
okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I did see the series. It's possible that this one I just had on
Thomas
and recorded,
said
but
Muramana to Ludens to Crypt.
okay. So just the good AP build. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one. If you can accelerate early, you are absolutely insane. So I
he was
assume it
like
was just some.
5-0 in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that'll do it. If
Yeah,
you lose a game with Kaisa in that spot, that's probably a bit reportable. But yeah, I mean, obviously good stuff. Getting yourself to that position, it's super important. Because Kaisa and Braum, I feel like, have a lot of good tools to deal with, like Vayne, Pike, Jarvan. Um, and if you're not dealing enough damage to really like pop people with the Jarvan Ori combo, I think you do struggle a little bit. I think this is just a bit of a draft diff. I don't think Vayne's actually that good unless you're like crack better. Shout out Teddy, but it is what it is. And then it looks like just outplayed in most of the areas of the map in the second game. Don't look top, but good to see Mike getting a good game in there. But I don't know if you have any thoughts on that series. I would want you to share it because I didn't get to see it as closely as I would have wanted to. But
Man, I don't know. First game bot diff, second game like we almost got top diffed.
gotcha.
And then Joey and Thomas just popped off. Like there was this one drag fight game 2 where Joey gets late to drag and Thomas was pushing out top to match the Gwen. So they kill our bot lane and top, and then Thomas and Joey just get there, clean up, and kill like 3 of them. The fight like went from drag down into bot lane, and it was like we were down like I think 3 or 4k gold, and after that fight, it was like even. It was crazy.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. Every game so far that we've had against MVP has been a banger in some way or another, so I'm really
Yeah.
excited for tonight.
Yeah, I'm so bummed that I can't see it. I'm really looking forward to catching the VOD. I haven't been able to watch too many of them just because I've been super busy. But definitely gonna make sure that I'm catching up on all the playoff stuff. Super excited for that. Going back here to the beginning, for Rift Sharks versus Andromeda, we did coast into this one with a 2-0 lead, so I think we were maybe a bit cocky. Thought Twisted Fate ADC was funny. We're like, what if we just pick the Echo away, which was something that we had prepared into Brewer, but Jonah subbed in like last minute, kind of threw us off, and I think we just kind of like forced the Echo into the Ace because it's a good matchup. Didn't think about the fact that we had no range our entire comp. Mason got really fed, and then we just played super split because we don't have enough range to actually follow up on a Hecarim. And then you're just getting outranged by Ace Jin, and their team outscales the hell out of us. I think that game was super winnable. I think the amount of shutdown gold we gave over in that game was probably over 5,000. Like it
Oh
was
my god.
ridiculous. We
I
gave
didn't see
over
this game.
we gave her multiple thousand gold shutdowns. It was pretty ugly. And then at that point, after losing that game, we were a little tilted. I picked Nephelios. I gave up. Like let's be honest here. We
Yeah, from what I've seen from
moved the karma around, but
your guys' games this season, you guys are like a super like mentally snowball team. Like if you win game 1, then you just cruise into the win off of that. But if you
yeah,
lose game 1, it's like really hard.
yeah. I mean, hopefully we can turn that around. I know personally I have strong mental, but I think we have some loud personalities on our team,
Yeah.
for sure. Love them. This is not a criticism. I think it could lead to very good things. We do tend to chase kills a little bit. I'd like to say we've improved and have kind of gotten over our faults in that sense, but we'll see. RDA absolutely fathered Drago game 2. No excuses for this one.
Is this where the Renekton ban trial come from?
I'm gonna pick Riven into Renekton, and we go, Ariane, this is the worst matchup. Don't play it. He goes, trust me, guys, I got this. I'm not losing. Fast forward to like 3 minutes into that game, maybe even before that. Yeah, let's just say the way we draft top lane on our team has changed after this game. Same with jungle. I think we don't just slam Mason's silly champions every single time. But actually, I didn't say that. Keep banning them. It's good. Good strategy. Keep doing it. Jonah obviously popped the fuck off here. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. He had a
Shout out to
huge
Jonah.
series.
What a series.
Yeah, I big Jonah fan. He was at Rift Shark at one point. I think he
Metabuster as
was
well.
also on TSA, if I'm remembering correctly.
Or wait, no. Jonah, were you on Metabusters season 4
Oh, see in chat.
or
See in
season
chat.
5? Yeah, he's typing.
Let's go.
Said he was on TSA. Never Metabusters. Okay, I'm just mixing Metabuster season 5 with Silicats.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I
Honorary
guess he's
honorary
been on both of
Metabusters
our
season, I
teams.
think.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we got big Jonah fans on screen right now. So honestly, like I can't be too upset. He absolutely smashed us that series. Um, Shows that he is the best mid laner on Andromeda. Don't quote me on that. It's just for funnies. Don't mean that seriously. Would like to see the Jonah Greer 1v1 though. Could be funny. Um, but yeah, no. That one was rough for us. I don't really have much to say there. Ill prepared. But yeah, moving forward to the more recent one, this one was actually a close series, I believe. We definitely got into a bit of a draft pinch, as you were saying.
Rare Kathy sighting.
Yeah. This one we went for the Kaisa, and we simply lost the game before the Kaisa got online. I dealt like the most damage in the game, and it like didn't matter, or something like that. It was a bit ridiculous. Brewer obviously just like pops off on the Cassiopeia. You have Renekton and Zac super strong early game. Good assists across the map from Honan too. They were just kind of able to body us. We looked like we were coming back into it at a point in the game, and definitely didn't feel like it was lost. But we just have
It was a
like
lot closer than the kills made it
right,
seem, yeah.
yeah, we just have a 0 early game on our entire team, and I think that that really cost us. Turn around here. Looks like we absolutely into bot lane. I would say I was sharing kills with the rest of the team. Um, but obviously,
I don't
Arya,
know. Jacob looked like he did pretty good on that one.
yeah. There might have been some pressure onto the ADC position on our team in this game, just possibly, maybe the entire series. But no, this one went a little bit better for us. Top jungle did fantastic. Thomas played the Vex super well. And then moving into game 3, Brewer
I'm
locks
so
in
mad about this
the
one.
the
You guys should
R5
have won this.
Lucian, and oh boy, oh boy, things did not go well for us. We were discussing various builds. We somehow forgot that Anathemas was an item. Um, that was our first mistake. So at past a certain point, Ariane just couldn't side lane into Cyan anymore.
Why are we locking in Yorick in
I
2024,
mean,
my guy?
he was really good, really good champ. Maybe not in a 5v5 scenario.
No.
And then
Also, why
the
are we banning
Volibear
Renekton
counter
first
into Kane didn't
rotation?
do anything. I don't know. This was rough. I played great.
I had so many questions about this draft. And you
uh,
don't need to answer them, but my biggest one is why are we dropping Kane ban for Renekton ban?
We'll
Like
see.
Drago fathered Arnie in the game before.
Well, okay. To be clear, they did ban Aatrox this time, so we don't have the same matchup. But let's just say we were a bit confident after the previous game. I don't know. We were like, if we just pick like Varys, how can we lose? I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I got no clue. Um, we honestly probably could have picked Senna too. We were like, well, they first picked Senna and like they lost, so that means that Senna's bad, even though Senna played well that game. Like, as you said, the draft decisions were questionable. I will not stand on this business. Like, this is bad. Like, like this.
This is a game 2 Rift draft in game 3.
Right. This organization is like getting audited by the feds right now. Like the CEO being locked away in handcuffs for fraud. Did someone bet from like Korea $8 million in crypto on this game and like we threw? Like it could have happened. It's
Are these VCS win trading allegations?
so true. LPL too.
True.
Happens
No,
anywhere.
but did you hear what happened with VCS
Oh,
recently?
recently?
Like last week?
Oh my
I think
god.
players on every single team are
Jesus
suspended,
Christ.
and it's like 32 total players. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
wait. I do.
VCS is dead
Holy
for the
shit.
season.
Wait,
Yeah.
so we don't
Stav
get to
said
see them internationally, or
at least 2 players on each team got banned.
holy shit,
Yeah. I think a couple teams, like their whole starting roster got banned.
that's crazy. Okay, well I'll have to look into that. That's fucking wild. I had no clue. But yeah, anyway, looking at the matchup spread across the board, I think top lane is an eco lane. I think either can win. Let's be real.
Yep.
And I think it is super like that's the word? Volatile. There we go.
Flippy? Oh, okay. I
I
know what you're saying.
think I think it's going to warp the game in some way. I think a team whose top laner doesn't win can win. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen. I think hypothetically we should have an advantage in the jungle, but I also think that's an ego lane. Um,
True.
I
100%.
can say this for all of them. I think Brewer is definitely
I think
better than
there's
the
only
players on
one
our team.
lane.
So
There's only one lane where the ego is matched, and that's mid. And I
yeah,
think in every other lane, it's one side or the other has ego,
yeah. Okay.
and most of it's on Rift Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, Brewer seems to think that any mid laner we run against him is like a one trick of a certain champion. So hopefully we're able to prove him wrong, because I know no matter who we put there, I know exactly which champions are being banned, and I know exactly the reasoning behind it. So I'm just gonna leave that as that. Hideri is correct. He will not ego
Yeah,
in the jungle.
that's
But
100%
and
accurate.
then looking at bot lane, I think Dad is really fucking good. And Honan plays with him super well. Honan plays what used to be like the Dean play style for ADC, which is super
Yeah.
frustrating. But he will just pick like Jhin, he'll pick Ashe, he'll pick like whatever the hell champion that just throws utility into all the other fights. And it doesn't matter how well you do, because you're just affecting the fights that your teammates are taking, and then you're able to get wins off of that. He definitely has games where he outplays me. I think if we were both playing a carry versus carry matchup, I think it would go in my favor. But Dad makes it super difficult for sure. It's definitely hard to contest him.
I don't know. There's the
Oh
Honan, like,
yeah. No, Thomas, I was just Rift Sharks mid laners. No matter who I put into Gruer, they're gonna
yeah.
be called. I didn't say it's necessarily just one trick. Like there are certain people we can put there, and we'll draw like 2 or 3 bans against them. But I don't know.
Yeah, I
It is
think
what
with
it is.
Honan, there's like the classic Honanism of like being down 50 CS or like 100 CS, but having like impact across the whole map because he just
Yeah.
doesn't care about dropping a couple waves. And I think that's like the big difference between the two of you.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think I could do that playstyle. It's just like, do I feel like I can on our team? Maybe not. But we'll kind of have to see. I think.
This ain't KGS. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think it basically is though. Like
You're like 2 players off. Yeah.
we're one player off. We're just missing
Well,
Michael. We can't
yeah,
run
but
everyone
your
at the same
your
time.
starting
But
roster
okay,
is yeah.
yeah. Asterisks, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I don't know. It's these 5 games I don't think are necessarily representative of what we can do as a team. I could say the middle one was, but that would be cherry picking, and I ain't doing that. I'll just say these
I'm
2
hoping
series.
for a closer series. That's all I'll
Yeah,
say.
I'll take another 3 gamer. Like I don't really
Yeah.
care. I'll also take another 2 gamer if we can win. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to dig too much into it, but I think this will be a very fun series. I think from Andromeda, it really depends on what their roster is going to be. They can run Jonah in, I guess, multiple places and have success. So should be interesting. But yeah. Hey, he's saying
And the mic
55-minute
flexing.
Maokai slog in game 3. No. Our game versus MVP was 65 minutes. like if you just want to watch like an hour of League of Legends, go to the first Rift Sharks versus MVP game and watch that VOD, because game 3 was a marathon. It is the
It was
longest League of
ridiculous.
Legends game I have ever played in. It was
I tuned
absolutely
into the
insane.
stream after playing like a whole league game, expecting them to be on the next game,
And it's just
they're just
still going.
still going.
Yeah,
How many stacks did Smolder hit?
Oh, I don't even know.
Like
I don't
600?
I don't want to know. It was bad. But like we were able to pick him off consistently too. Like I don't know how the fuck we like we had misfortune. Misfortune is like the worst scaling ADC ever. I don't know. Yeah, it was ridiculous. We were just like brain rot. Like I think every game in that series is like longer than some series we've had.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
there have been multiple series that we've won faster than just that game 3. It is absurd. Our you could play our first series versus MVP, watch game 1, watch game 2. As soon as game 3 starts, like the actual game, pull up the VOD for our second series, and you'll finish the second series VOD before game 3 is even over. Like, I don't know. Crazy shit. I think our team is super interesting. Unbiased, obviously, but um, I feel like Rift Sharks is like, obviously don't condone gambling or anything, but in a hypothetical scenario, if you were to bet on any team, just don't make it ours because it's just a coin flip. Like there is no sort of like gaming the system or trying to figure out what's going on because who the hell knows. But yeah, I think our series you have like zero clue what to expect. I think for Metabusters and MVP, you know it's going to be good, but I think there's certain things you can at least look out for. I don't think I can say the same about hours, but I don't know. Let's probably try to make this a 40-minute episode. So we got like 3.5 left.
All right.
Do you want to mention
Should we
that
do
season?
full predictions or?
Oh, like every game? Sure. Let's do that. We'll briefly mention that awards voting is gonna try to be out as soon as possible. I was hosting like 5 people over at my house all week, so didn't really have time to do that, and was working on some projects beforehand too. So hopefully we'll have time to get those up. When you do vote, please don't account for these series that you're just about to see. In the voting, it should just be for regular season. We'll say that when I post it, but just do your best to make sure that everyone knows that going forward. But sure, let's run the bracket and see what people are thinking. I'll go first. We'll say Rift Sharks 2-1. Metabusters, sure. We'll say a 2-1 also for the culture. Us versus Metabusters has been pretty close. The last series we played against you guys, we absolutely choked the hell out of it. First when we played, just dropped the game 1 for
Other way
fun.
around.
Clean 2-0. I think that is the likely outcome that we'll see again. I think maybe we tend to struggle to draft against you guys in the first game, and it's just a question of can we recover it. I think in a Rift Sharks Metabusters matchup, if it happens in the upper bracket, I think we drop game 1, and I think everything else could go either way. But sure, we'll say we win, or we'll say we lose and we make the miracle run because it's KGS all over again. I don't know. But
history's a circle.
Right. I don't know. I'll just say we'll say Rift Sharks Metabusters finals and then we win because it's the same thing. It's just Silicats again. I don't know. I feel like it's a little silly just full predicting brackets. So I'm not gonna take it too seriously.
Oh, I just meant for these 2 series, like game
I thought
I appreciate
when
the
you said
insight.
full prediction, I was like, holy shit, like we're going for it. Okay, personally, I just want to see Andromeda versus MVP played again. I don't know where that would happen. But I think it would be a fun matchup. I think it's possible that it doesn't. I think it's very possible that it doesn't. But that's what I would like. What are you thinking for these 2 series?
Oh, I think we 2-0 MVP just based on how series have gone recently.
Yeah, and then Andromeda 2-0
and then
Rift Sharks.
I think Andromeda 2-1.
Okay.
You guys. I think it's just a repeat of your last series against them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they
Like-
did have side select there, so I think that can make sense. But I do think side select matters a lot when the the matchups can be very interesting. But yeah, I mean I don't know. I don't like predicting playoff series as much just because I feel like then people will be like, oh, well, you know what's going to happen. Let's not watch. But anyway, everyone make sure that you're tuning in tonight at 8,
Tonight
I
at
believe.
8,
I think
hopefully.
there maybe might be a slight delay, but if there's
I think
anyone
we're
I
good.
trust to kill time, it's Honan. So just he's going to put on a show, absolutely. And if anyone can hop in and help him out with the co-cast, would be greatly appreciated.
Yo,
yeah,
Vidiri
anyone
co-cast with Honan would go so hard.
Holy shit, that'd be cash. But yeah, Make sure you tune in. Thanks for watching. Um, we'll probably do shorter episodes like this for the rest of the playoffs, but we'll get some full hour ones in the off season. Peace.